Hey everybody, Pete Salazar at WYM Fitness. Today we're going to be doing an 8 exercise circuit. We're going to go 40 seconds on, 10 seconds to transition. The only equipment you need today is bands. However, I will demonstrate the exercises that we're going to be using equipment with dumbbells as well, just in case you don't have bands. If you're looking for equipment, you can always check out the gear tab on our homepage as well, so don't forget about that if you need stuff. We're going to take a 30-second break after every 4 exercises, and we're going to get through this a total of 3 times today. While I'm demonstrating all the exercises, I would ask you to jump rope, jog in place, do some jumping jacks, just get yourself warmed up and ready to go. The demonstration is going to take about 45 minutes, so that's plenty of time for you to warm up and stretch while I'm talking. Okay, here's our demonstration. The first exercise that we're going to do is a band squat. What I want you to do is take both of your feet and step on the band, and then you're going to curl the handles up in front of you. You can have your palms in, you can have them towards each other, you can have them facing you, but you're just going to give yourself some extra tension by curling it up. Plus you get some work in the arms as kind of an ISO for your biceps. So just doing a normal squat, try to keep the bands outside of your knees. You can cross your arms over and the bands will fall in between your knees, and that's just fine as long as you're not making room for the bands by buckling the knees in or pushing your knees out, okay? You wanna just make sure, as always, that your knees are tracking where your toes are pointing, okay? So the first exercise, like I said, is gonna be a band squat. If you have dumbbells, of course, you can do a goblet squat by keeping the weight in front of you, or you can hang the weights off to the side or put them on your shoulder and do a squat that way. But again, today, focusing on the bands. Second exercise that we're gonna do is a band upright row and curl. So we're gonna alternate between these 2 exercises, mainly because neither one of them do a massive amount for your whole body at the same time, because they're just small muscle groups that we're working, the deltoids here with your upright row, and then your biceps. So when you're doing your upright row, keep your hands in and close to your body, okay? I'm keeping them really close to me and elbows up nice and high. And on the curl, keep your elbow pointed to the floor, okay? Don't let them float forward. So again, we're just alternating between your upright row for your shoulders and your curl for your biceps. If you have dumbbells, same thing, up row, curl, up row, curl. Third and fourth exercise is gonna be a balance drill. We're not gonna use any resistance. You always can if you want to, adding a dumbbell or a kettlebell. We're gonna do a balance touchdown, which is a version of a single leg squat. So the first thing you have to do is find your balance. Pick one foot up off the ground, find your balance, stare at one point on the floor 5 or 6 feet in front of you. Then what you're gonna do, I'm balancing on my left foot. I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna squat as much as I can and try and touch the ground in front of my toes. And then on the way up, I'm gonna stand all the way up and reset my shoulder. I don't want you to stand up part way, leave your shoulder forward, and go back down, okay? It's too easy. So again, balancing, reaching down, squatting, bending your knee, bending at the hip, standing all the way up, resetting your shoulder. It makes us reset our balance every single time. So squat and touch, reset. Squat and touch, reset. After 40 seconds, we switch to the other side. I'm on my right foot. So now I'm taking my left hand, finding my balance first, and squatting, touching the ground, coming all the way up. Squat, touch the ground. If you can't quite make it to the ground, try and touch your knee or your shin, okay? Not everyone has the range of motion or balance to make it all the way to the ground, but you'll get there. The 5th thing that we're gonna be doing is you'll need a band, and ooh, tangled up. We're gonna be doing a good morning. So this is basically just a bowing motion. I'm gonna stand with a narrow stance, so my feet are basically touching each other, okay? I'm gonna keep my knees a little bit soft and I'm gonna curl the bands in front of me. You can hold your hands together. Nothing wrong with that. From here, I'm going to scoot my hips back, keeping my back nice and flat, and then I stand back up. While you're doing this, we're keeping your legs long so you can feel a stretch in your hamstrings, and then you're activating your hamstrings to pull yourself back up to your standing position. As you drop down, don't squat. If you squat, you're not gonna feel your hamstrings, okay? This is all about your hamstrings, your butt, and your back. All right, so again, leaning forward, little bowing motion, standing up, stretch, and contract. Stretch, and contract. So that's your good morning. If you have dumbbells, you can just hold one in front of you. Do the same thing, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our band, we're gonna put it behind our back. Now, if you're working on push-ups and you can't quite do them from your toes, this variation is gonna go a long way to helping you be able to do your push-ups from your toes. It's gonna help you work on strengthening your chest and shoulders and even your core a little bit more, but it kind of helps take your legs out of it. So we're gonna start this from our knees. And so I have the band stretched just right around my lats, kind of underneath my armpits. And as I drop down, I'm gonna lose some of that resistance, but as I press up, it adds resistance to my push-up. Of course, if you're good with your push-ups, you can do these from your toes as well. But if you have a hard time doing them from your toes, especially because you're lacking some upper body strength right now, this is a great variation to add some resistance to your push-up from your knees to start working on building some more upper body strength without having to rely so much on your core and your legs in a full push-up position, okay? So a band push-up, if you don't want to use the bands because you're not quite there yet, then you're just going to do push-ups from your toes or your knees. And then finally, the last two exercises we're going to do is just a single arm band row. So you're going to stand pretty close to the handle and you're going to step back. So right now I'm on my left foot, I've got my left elbow basically planted on my left knee, and I'm leaning forward quite a bit. You can hold the handle if you want to, or just hold the band itself, and we're pulling up and back. Don't pull straight up to your shoulder. I want to put my hand close to the top of my rib cage, okay? If you were doing this with a dumbbell, I would tell you to put the bottom of the dumbbell in your pocket, your hip pocket. Okay, it's the same exact motion with the dumbbell as it is the band. Going up and back, not straight up, okay? After 40 seconds, you're simply gonna switch sides and we'll hit the other arm, the other side, okay? Right leg is down and bent, right elbow is on the leg, left leg is back, and we're doing our rows. All right, so that is all 8 exercises using the band the whole time today. If you don't have a band and you do have dumbbells, you can certainly do a lot of these with your dumbbells as well. So let's get ready to go. All right, you guys, demonstration is done. I hope you had a chance to warm up. Get your bands ready. First exercise is a band squat, stepping on your bands. Make sure the band is in the arches of your feet. And let's get your hands set, curling up in front of you. And let's get ready to go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Round number 1. 40 seconds of work. Again, 10 seconds in between exercises. We're gonna take a 30-second break after every 4. Make sure you're exhaling on the way up. Sometimes if you're trying to breathe with me, if you're keeping the same pace and I'm yapping away, it might ruin your breathing pattern. Always make sure that you're breathing out on the way up. Keep your back flat, knees in line with your toes. All right. Band, upright row to curl. If you have your lightest band in hand, then you need less resistance take one foot off. Okay, it gives you more band to work with. If you only have one foot on and it's not enough resistance, you step your other foot on, okay? Just do your best to make sure the tension is even on both sides. Sometimes with band work it can be a little bit difficult to keep everything nice and even. And of course, again, with this upright row, elbows high, and with the curl, elbows pointed right at the floor. All right, no equipment, balance touchdown. Pick one foot up, find your balance. Again, it's a single leg squat variation. So we're not just leaning forward, we are bending at the knee, touching the floor, resetting every time. And finding one point to stare at makes things immensely easier when it comes to balance. So you're not shifting your eyeballs around. It'll make your body shift around too. And just like a regular squat, exhaling on the way up. Already feeling this. With the balance, we get a lot more work in our glutes as well. All right, 10 seconds. Shake that leg out a little bit. Other side. Find your balance. Find something to stare at. And begin. Now, through the course of this, once you get tired, if you get tired, and your balance really becomes a challenge, try not to fight too much. Put your foot down, take a breath, pick it back up, find your balance again, and restart. And the reason I don't want you fighting for your balance too much is because we can move our knees around, you can potentially roll an ankle, you can jerk really hard, mess your back up. Just put your foot down, find your balance, and get back to it. All right, 30-second break, grab a quick drink. We got 4 to go before this first round is done. All right, 5 seconds, starting with the band good morning. Stepping on the band, curl your hands up. And again, it's just a bowing motion. We're gonna keep our legs nice and straight, but not locked out. Okay, just keep your knees unhinged. And exhaling as you squeeze your hamstrings, your glutes, and your back. Pull yourself back into your upright position. Nice job. All right, band push-ups next. Remember, the band's gonna go around your back. You gotta kind of roll it up high, pin the band with your hands, and do a normal push-up from there. I'm just doing them from my knees. You can do them from your toes. But again, if you're really focusing on just the upper body strengthening of this, do them from your knees. And if it's easy with the band, as you have it, you can always reset your hands higher up, giving yourself more resistance to press against. Still keeping your core locked while you're doing these. All right, up on your feet, we're gonna do a single arm band row. Again, stepping close to the handle. Lead leg is bent, elbow on that leg, pulling up and back towards your hip or the top of your ribs. Again, if you have a dumbbell, the bottom of the dumbbell should end up by your hip. But your thumb, I like to tell my clients to get it by the top of your rib cage. Really working to pull your shoulder blade back. A little bit of biceps involved with this. Anytime you're pulling, your biceps are involved as a secondary mover. The pulling like a row or a pull down. All right, switching sides. Stepping close to the handle, pinning the band with your heel, elbow on your knee, and pulling. Every single time, my thumb right by my top of my rib cage, pulling my shoulder blade back, and exhaling as I pull. We get the back of the shoulder involved with this as well, besides the biceps. This really is mostly for your lats. Good. All right, that is the end of your first round. You got a 30-second break. Grab a quick drink. All right, 5 seconds. Get your band, stand on it. Band squats, hands up. Whew, I went up a band. Bands I have go red, blue, and then black. Your bands might be a different color scheme for resistance. If you're ever not sure which one's heaviest, just grab the band, see how thick it is. Obviously, the thicker the band, the more resistance it's gonna give you. There is no universal color coding system, unfortunately. All right, 10 seconds. Upright row and curl. Again, this is one you can do with dumbbells as well if you want, or if you don't have bands. Up row, curl. Speaking of bands and different colors and different resistance levels, when I'm doing my workouts, if you notice in front of me, my red band is by my right, there's a space next to that one, and then my black band is over to my left. I always try to lay them out in order. That way I know, once I've mapped out my workout, which one is which and where it's at. It makes it a lot easier to transition from one thing to the next without having to scramble through my bands. All right, set the bands down or your dumbbells. You got the balance touchdown. Lift the leg up, find something to stare at. Single leg squat, whoop. Again, pull your shoulder back. Every time it forces us to kind of reset our balance from the top. And again, if you start to fight, try not to fight too much, put your foot down, find your balance again, and then go. Bending your knee every time. Exhaling on the way up, every time. All right, shake that leg out. We got the other side to do. After this one, we get our 30-second break. But we gotta earn it. Work for it, here we go. Probably one side's easier than the other for you. That's totally normal. On average, for most of us right-handed people, the left foot's the easier one to balance on. And vice versa if you happen to be left-handed. But that's not always the case. It is with me though. My right side's harder to balance on. Good job. Halfway through your second round, 30-second break, go to a quick drink. Easy for me to say, a quick drink. 5 seconds, get your band, starting with the good morning. Hands up. Long hamstrings. Short hamstrings. Lengthen, shorten. On the way down, make sure your hips are moving back. Just like in a squat, you want your weight in your heels. Sometimes I'll see people do these and they lean way forward and all their weight gets transferred to the ball of their foot. It's very tough on the knee and your back, actually. Nice. All right, band push-ups. Bring it up, wrap it around, get yourself down. Again, I'm doing these from my knees. You don't need to. Makes it easier for me to talk to you. Should definitely be feeling tightness through your core. Same thing we've talked about before. If you have wrist issues, you can do this from your knuckles as well. Good. Up on your feet. Single arm band row. Coming up. Good. Heel down. And pulling. Really low while you're doing this. Again, pulling up and back. Good. Switching sides. Nice big pulls from your lat. Whew, looking forward to that break. It's coming up. We gotta work all the way through. Almost there. All right, round 2 is done. Grab a quick drink. All right, band squats. Get on that band, get your hands up. Again, with your squat, sitting your butt back. Keeping your weight in your heels. Should be able to kind of tap your feet at the bottom of your squats. And always making sure that your knees are tracking in line with your toes. If your toes point out, your knees go out. Okay, upright row to curl. Here we go. Elbows up, elbows down. Up, down, shoulders, arms. I like mixing things together. It's more efficient sometimes. It's more fun sometimes. Fun. I think it's fun. I hope you think it's fun. Maybe when it's all over. Okay, balance touchdown. Call it a balance squat if you want to. But we call it a touchdown because we touch the floor. Or trying to. Shoulder back every time. Fully standing up every time. Ooh. It's the third round, all right. Definitely harder to balance this time. Getting a nice burn going in my glutes and my quads. I hope you are too. One more. Good. Oh yeah, shake that leg out a little bit. Take a deep breath. Find a point to stare at. Lift that leg up. Go. Trying to bend your knee as much as you can. I always do this with my left leg first. That's the easy leg. I should do this with my right leg first. When I'm fresher. Nice deep squat. All right, halfway through your last round, grab yourself a drink of water. Five seconds, starting with that good morning. Hands up. How's your low back feeling? Mine's feeling it really well. Good burn. Again, make sure you're exhaling on your way up. Not bending your legs on the way down. Just want to make sure your knees are not locked. All right, push-ups and push-ups next. Wrap it around, pin it with your hands, and go. If you are doing these from your knees, try to keep your feet on the ground. This makes a counterbalance. It does make your push-up a little lighter and easier, but try to make it a little tougher. Keep your feet down. Make sure you're looking in front of your fingertips too. Don't duck your chin way down. All right, on your feet. One arm band row. So close to the end. Makes me sad a little bit, but it makes me happy at the same time. Always feels good to get through one of these, right? In my humble opinion. Thumb by your ribs. Never, ever, ever do bent rows, pulling your hands to your shoulders. Don't do it. Good. Switching to the other side. Good, all right. This is it. Final 40. Working hard. Did you make it through every single exercise without a break today? I hope so. But if not, it definitely gives you something to shoot for. Don't go heavier, don't go faster. Just try to make it all the way through without taking a break. All right, awesome job. Thank you for taking the time to work out with me. From everybody here at WYM Fitness, have a healthy rest of your day.